What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I'd give you a shout out. Damn it, I should have wrote your name down. Somebody was asking if this is a head and shoulders pattern and what I thought about that, because there's a lot of other analysts in the space talking about this being a head and shoulders pattern and that it's very bearish. This is not a head and shoulders pattern. It's not. Even back here, I think I remember talking about it back here, even whenever it had that look. I was like, it's not a head and shoulders. You're going to see people call it a head and shoulders. It's not. If it was, the best case in point would have been that this was your left shoulder, that was your head, this is your right shoulder, right, and that we've broken out. But we've broken out. It's a busted pattern at this point. So it's definitely not a head and shoulders pattern. Absolutely not. And I think already to that it wasn't a head and shoulders pattern because already of this wick here, it kind of invalidated that. Head and shoulders patterns are very strict patterns. And the volume, to be fair, the volume kind of lines up. It actually does kind of match with it, but no, it's not a head and shoulders. And if it is, it's not anymore. We've invalidated the pattern here, right? Really what this was, if you want to look at it, was some kind of broadening channel right down here. We broke out of that bullishly, and now we're following through, right? That's what this is. Some kind of long-term consolidation that broke out bullishly. In fact, I think if we look at it on a 3-day time frame, it's more likely to be a diamond pattern, I think. I think this is a diamond pattern that broke out to the downside and pulled back up to the upside. They're known to do this. They're actually very much known. Diamond patterns, you guys, whenever they break out, whatever direction they break out to, they break out at high velocity, and then they're known to pull back through the breakout point, The breakout point is not always the tip of the diamond, but just, I'm drawing it in this kind of sense. But I think that we'd actually make more of a case out for this to be a diamond top. This kind of movement here is very indicative of diamond tops, diamond bottoms, but I digress. Anyways, looking like we're getting the bullish follow through on that. We're here at about $2.53. Damn it, XRP. I was excited. I thought that we'd be talking about prices that were above 260, 270 even today, but nope. We only wicked. We only got the wicks up there today. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, a little bit of a double top going on. I want to look at this. If we're on the 1 hour, let's use something with volume like Coinbase here. Yeah. So you move up, right? Imagine this. You move up here, you're getting volume, whatever. You chill. You're trying to move up more. No volume's coming in, at least not in comparison to this. So what do? You pull back. You pull back, you're trying again for a third effort. Aha, volume finally comes, so you do actually get a move up. Okay, volume actually came. Here you are getting to this same high, no volume, so you're going to pull back. That's just, what happens. Then whenever you try again, maybe you get some volume, and aha, you build to the next level, right? So XRP is just building. XRP is building. The patron saint of good things and growth for the crypto markets is taking a chill pill. I was kind of looking forward to the idea of XRP moving up over the yesterday and today, and the next day maybe moving up while Bitcoin consolidates. And if XRP moves up, I know that the markets are waiting on Ethereum and Solana to do their thing, but I think if XRP moves up, that could be a good kind of precursor, an indication that there is some growth coming in the markets, and it will move up. It will move up in its own time, but for now, it does look like it wants to take a back seat. You do have some bearish divergence, lower highs throughout here in the RSI. Rejecting the overbought zone is not a good way to start off your bullish stuff, right? It's a good way to start off your bearish stuff. You were getting overbought, now you can't. Now you're back down here, but instead of getting overbought, right, you've rejected it, you're probably going to see a lower low. You probably will see XRP, the RSI, go down to the 40 level, if not even the oversold zone or something around this area is kind of what I would anticipate, right? We can look back and see here on a 4-hour time frame, XRP does like to find support here, sometimes just above there, sometimes just below there, right, kind of in this area, finding support there as well, above there as well, sometimes right at the oversold zone. I wouldn't anticipate that we go all the way down to the oversold zone. That happened, the last time that happened was in like the peak of this bearishness. I don't think that we're there now. I think that we validated the idea that validated the notion that is the low and that we're not going below that. So and on that note, if anything, we had an inverse head and shoulders down here, but maybe not. The volume's not good, but anyways, I think that we do pull back a little bit, but how far is a little bit? Let's see, from a low here to a high here, you're at 253. What would 241 do for you? 4.7% drop, 4.7. I could see it happening. What if Bitcoin pumps though? I'm kind of wondering if Bitcoin pumps. If Bitcoin pumps, XRP can still dump. We've seen it recently happen where XRP will have like a 2% red day and Bitcoin's up 2%. We've also seen it where XRP had a 2% green day recently, and Bitcoin was down like 0.5% or something. So XRP can definitely move different to Bitcoin. If this isn't helping me at all, because I am expecting Bitcoin to actually move up. I know that this is a diamond top pattern here for Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. I know a lot of people are expecting the diamond to break out to the downside, and maybe it does, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it'll break out to the upside, mainly because I think that there's a lot of people who have a bad taste for diamond tops. They think that that means that we have to go down. I don't know if that's exactly what that means, but maybe, and maybe I'll be wrong, right? Call it a hunch, but maybe I'll be wrong. I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again. I really don't care about being right or wrong. That's why whenever I say maybe I'm wrong, that's not me saying in a snide way, haha, but I probably won't be. No, like genuinely, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Time will tell. And it's okay if I am wrong. If I'm wrong and Bitcoin does move down, XRP likely will see prices around like 241, if not somewhere around there. With the 382, with the first interaction of the 382, oftentimes you don't find support right off it like you did here. Oftentimes you do go just a little bit below it. The fact that you've already interacted with the once tells me that you probably do go a little bit lower. Maybe we look to find support around the 0.5 at $2.35. So if not when, we don't know, but if XRP from here at $2.53 wants to take a bath a little bit, wants to rinse off and cool off, you probably go down to about 240 to 235. All right, that's the expectation. At the most, right? That would be at the most. If you see anything more than that, I wouldn't be scared. It would just surprise me. I wouldn't expect that, but it would probably promote a very good buying opportunity. At any rate, I would assume we go lower. If Bitcoin were to move lower as well. But looking at the 4-hour time frame, I would also think that. I mean, looking at the 1-hour time frame, 1 hour is bearish too. I don't think that the 236 is going to hold up. So at the very, very least, you would go down to about 241, 240, something in that area. How much lower depends on Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin moves up from here, if it does what I'm thinking, then maybe you do find support here. It is possible after all, because what you've got is support at the 382, now support at the 236. If you turn around, I'll tell you what, guys, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, being here at 253, if by the time you watch this video or at some point afterwards, if by the end of today or at any point today we see prices back above 260, there's no downside. We're going to the upside and we're going to move up fast, okay? And if we move to the upside, when we move to the upside, the next target area, let's see, from a high here to a low there, the next target area would be about 290 to 312, and I think that's where XRP is going to go. Sorry, my daughter is crying. Okay, so that's the next target area. Yeah, that's the expectation. I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Looking at the daily RSI, if we're looking at this here, yes, you do have bearish divergence, and that divergence actually would be good for a move down to about 246. And likely with bearish divergences, you don't stop it where the divergence formed, you actually go through it. So this, if anything, adds to the point that I was saying that XRP probably does move down. I don't think we move down too low, but maybe down to about 240, something like that, and then we move up. Either way, time will tell. 253 now. If at all you see the price above 260, we're not going down. We're going higher first, and then maybe we can come back down to this area, or maybe we consolidate up here. You know, time will tell. This bearish divergence is very compelling to the idea that we go to 245 or lower, probably 240 if we make it down to 245, but we don't have to. It's not a requirement, right? Largely, I think Bitcoin will dictate what the markets do. So depending on how we break out of this, do we break out to the downside or to the upside? I think that will also reinforce XRP's decision here. It's kind of funny because I'm expecting Bitcoin to go up, but my call for XRP is for it to go down. So the call for XRP here, down to about 235 to 240, somewhere in that zone. Find support, move up higher. If I'm wrong, you'll see prices above 260 at any given point today. If they're above 260, we're just moving up. Instead of moving down and then moving up, we're just moving up. And where are we moving up to? 290 to 312. Okay, this is the short-term perspective. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. We can talk about the long-term real quick, or the midterm, right? From here, it's clear as day that you're breaking out of this already, this consolidation phase. You're breaking out of it already to the upside. I think that we will continue upwards until we see prices around like $11 to $14, $15, something like that, maybe $16 at the highest. But that's what I expect by the end of June, if not very early July. Okay, that's the move overall. Very, very similar to what we saw back here. It's just going to take a little bit more time. Take care. See you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. Bye-bye.